Well, this week on WoodCarving Weekly, we've got some great tips for you, including using grapevines, braided steel wool, and taters for your carving projects. Yeah, we're going to have some fun today. And by the way, you can find links to all the resources that I mentioned during this episode right below the video in the description. Also, I post the same links in the comments section just a little further down on the page right below this video. Let's get started. This week there's a new video from the International Association of Wood Carvers, and the guest presenter this week is Ray Meyer. Some of the highlights from Ray's presentation include carving, basically step by step, a Santa face. This one's fairly large, and in the video you'll see how to carve a pretty unique looking diamond pattern into the Santa hat fur. And Ray also shares a heartwarming story about swapping carvings with an 8-year-old girl by the name of Nora. There's a lot going on. Make sure you go and check it out. And by the way, tune in next time on April 6th at 3 p.m., the International Association of Wood Carvers, for the next live show. You can be there. You can ask your own questions if you have any. Enjoy. So up next, we'll visit New Hampshire. That's where we'll find Brian Stockman of the Stockman Original YouTube channel. Brian is a master carver with more than 50 years of experience. And he carves in all kinds of mediums, including stone, horn, bone, wood, you name it, he'll carve it. And he is a guy who's spent a lot of time learning and storing knowledge about forgotten arts and lost crafts. In his new video, he's going to talk about braiding steel wool. Now, why would you do that? And making cordage, more or less, from steel wool. Well, he demonstrates this process, and the reason that he does it is to make a nice, flexible abrasive that he can get into some really tight spots on a carving. During this video, you'll see Brian doing the braiding. He also includes a diagram to show you the braiding process for those of us like me who've never braided anything. And he shows you the end results from his polishing that he's done. In the video, you'll see him using this braided steel wool on a little carving of a dog, and it's made from water buffalo horn. It's very interesting. I think you'll enjoy the channel. Go ahead and take a look. Well, I want to give a shout out to Dal from DW Carvings. She reached out to me on Instagram and told me about a YouTube channel that she came across, and she said, hey, this guy's got some great content. Just want to let you know. Well, I checked it out, and yeah, I agree. I think that there's some really good content. The channel is Danny Harris Arts, and Danny has more than 200 videos on his channel, and he's primarily a guy who carves wildlife. He says that his love for the outdoors kind of feeds into his passion for carving wildlife. And he's got a video tutorial series about carving a brown trout. Now, in his latest video, he shows you how to mount the fins and how to take care of the eyes. He shares a lot of tips and tricks on getting yourself a really lifelike rendition of a brown trout. And he mentioned some of the competitions and how he's missed some details in the past, but now he's really taking care to catch them when he's carving now. So check out Danny's channel and see what you think. Well, up next we have a knowledge nugget for you. This one comes from Alan Goodman, and he shared it on Facebook. Alan says, hey, if you like to harvest wood for walking sticks, and you collect that wood green, you can take a potato and rub it on the end grain of the stick to help it keep from checking and cracking. And a lot of folks said, well, I've never heard of that one before. So someone said, well, Alan, do you need to just do it one time or do you reapply? And Alan said, look, all you do is you take your tater and rub it vigorously on the end grain, each end of that stick, until it's covered in tater juice. And then you're good to go. You don't need to reapply. I'm going to try that. I've got some freshly cut crepe myrtle, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, a lot of thanks to Alan for sharing that knowledge nugget. And we'll see how many of you out there are digging into your taters right now. Well, speaking of walking sticks, we'll take a visit to the woods of Georgia, where we find Jeremy Lee from the Stickin' To It YouTube channel. Jeremy's out in the woods looking for some maple. He wants to harvest some for walking sticks. And he says he likes to carve maple. He likes working with it and selling maple because it's very versatile. So he's out there on the hunt, but unfortunately he has forgotten one very important tool, a strap that he uses for kind of hauling the wood after he's cut it. But no worries. He sees a nearby grapevine. Jeremy goes, cuts the vine, wraps it around that pile of sticks, and hauls it out just like he would with a strap. Problem solved. Anyway, I think you'll enjoy his channel. And by the way, he also has a website where he sells his walking stick, mostly in the $32 to $35 range. If you're interested, make sure you check out the channel and visit his website. Well, the folks at BeaverCraft have a brand new tutorial video to share. This time around, they're carving a glasses holder. Now, this is a fairly large project. It's 4 inches square, the block that you start with, 4 inches square by 10 inches tall. And of course, in the tutorial, they show you the pattern, tools you need to make this thing, and then also the carving process as well. At the end, you can see the finished product. And if you're interested in getting the pattern for this project and 150 other projects, there's a way to do that. So all you do is subscribe to the BeaverCraft YouTube channel and then subscribe to their newsletter. Doing those two things will get your hands on lots of free patterns. Enjoy. Well, I have a little correction to make. Last week I mentioned that Sarah had written a new blog post for the Whittled Lovelies blog about how to carve two-dimensional Easter eggs. And I said it was a collaboration with a woodcarver by the name of Takahama. Well, after the episode, Sarah reached out to me and she said, yeah, you know, Jack, I did not write that blog post. It was actually written by Takahama, and I just wanted to make sure and provide that correction for you and give credit where it's due to Takahama. And thank you very much to Sarah for the follow-up information. Folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. As always, the support, the likes, subscribing to the channel always helps. And if you're interested in more tips and hacks and information, I've got another video for you right over here. See you next week.